My son has been eating Sunday dinner at a laundromat for a year. The woman who feeds him assumed I knew, and my mother assumed he'd never tell me. I found out because of a receipt. Not a laundromat receipt, a grocery one, tucked in my son's coat pocket when I did the wash. Rotisserie chicken, dinner rolls, a 2-liter of orange soda. Paid for on a card that wasn't mine. Marcus was 9. He didn't have a card. Buddy, whose is this? I held it up. He went pale. I found it. You found a receipt with your snack order on it? He looked at the floor. Miss Stella bought it for Sunday. I didn't know a Miss Stella. I knew that on Sundays my mother took Marcus for the afternoon so I could pick up the overnight shift at the hospital. She'd been doing it for over a year. Grandma cooks you Sunday dinner, I said, right? He didn't answer. That was the answer. I called my mother. Who's Miss Stella? A pause. Where'd you hear that name? Marcus? Who is she, Mom? She's a woman at the laundromat on 5th. She's lovely. She feeds the kids that come in. The kids that come in. Why is my son one of them? Longer pause. Because that's where he is on Sundays, Kayla. While I do my errands, I sat down. You leave him at a laundromat for 4 hours every week. He's fine. Della watches him. There's a whole crowd of them. They do homework. You told me you cooked him dinner. I told you he ate dinner. He does eat dinner. Then quieter, like it settled the matter. He was never going to tell you. So what's the harm? I hung up. That last part sat in me all night. He was never going to tell you. Like she'd counted on it. The next Sunday I called out of my shift and didn't tell either of them. I dropped Marcus with my mother at noon like always. Then I drove 2 blocks, parked, and waited. At 12:20 my mother's car pulled out. Marcus wasn't in it going home. He was walking alone, backpack on, down 5th toward the laundromat. 9 years old, crossing streets by himself. I followed on foot far enough back that he didn't see me. He went in like he owned the place. A heavy-set woman at the folding table lit up. There's my Marcus. She hugged him. She had a foil tray already out. Chicken. Rolls. I stood in the doorway. Della? She turned, still smiling. You must be Kayla. Oh, I've heard so much. He talks about you all the time. She wiped her hands. It's so good you finally came. I always told your mother you should come. My mother told you I knew about this. Her smile faltered. She said you worked Sundays, that you were grateful somebody fed him a hot meal. She looked at Marcus, then back at me, and the truth landed on her face all at once. You didn't know he was here. I thought he was at my mother's table. Della sat down hard. Oh no. Oh honey, no. She pressed her hand to her mouth. She drops him at 12:15 and picks him up at 5. Every week. I thought, I feed him because he's hungry, Kayla. He comes in hungry. I thought you knew and couldn't afford. She stopped herself. Couldn't afford what? She told me you couldn't manage groceries some weeks. That the extra plate helped. Della's voice cracked. I've been buying his dinner for a year thinking I was helping a struggling mom. I never once talked to you because she said you'd be ashamed if I brought it up. I make $60,000 a year. My freezer is full. I have never once been unable to feed my son. I pulled out my phone and called my mother on speaker. Right there, Della watching. Kayla, what? Where's Marcus right now, Mom? He's at my place, napping. Marcus was standing 4 feet from me holding a dinner roll. He's at the laundromat, Mom, with Della, who spent a year buying him groceries because you told her I'm too broke and too ashamed to feed him. Silence. You take my money for gas every Sunday. You take the afternoon, and then you dump my son on a stranger and let her pay for him while you tell her lies about me. Why? Her voice went flat. You'd never have found out. That's not a reason. That's a confession. I have things to do on Sundays, Kayla. I told everyone what they needed to hear so it would be easy. Della was crying now, quietly, still holding the foil tray. I would never have taken money for it, she whispered. I'd have done it for free. She let me pay. I looked at the receipts on Della's folding table. A year of them, held down by a salt shaker. A whole year of a stranger's grocery money. Mom, I said, you're going to pay Della back every dollar, and you're never watching him again. You can't prove Della kept the receipts.